The inside of the driver's side door is just like the other side, except for it has a few more buttons. You have a massage seat function, 2 presets for the power seat, child safety locks here, and then you have the power windows, which are one touch up and down, laminated glass here in the front. Rear glass is laminated as well, and it goes all the way down, all the way up, all the way down. Nice, they go fast too. Door lock controls, side mirrors. You also have a power folding function for the side mirrors as well. I'm going to power fold them in. These are heated side mirrors, and they also have the blind spot detection system, little indicators right there. So the driver's seat has the recline function here, and then it has the ability to separately, control the leg support basically. You can go back, forward, tilt, up and down like a dentist chair. And then you have 4-way lumbar adjustment. You also have side bolster adjustments here. That's what this little knob right there is for. So yeah, a lot of functionality, and just basically plopping in the seat, it feels so good already. You don't even have to hardly adjust it. You just pretty much comfortable in any position. To the left of the steering column, there's the ability to open up the charge door, open up the front cargo area, the rear cargo area, power lift gate, and then this is for traction control. You can turn it off, default will be on. Dimmer switch for the interior gauges, and then you have electronic parking brake. There's a fuse box behind that cover there. Has a power tilt and telescoping steering column as well. Depending on what trim you get, you can get either 311 miles to a charge or 335 miles. The lowest horsepower is 215 horsepower at the base trim, 258 pound-feet of torque, and that's a rear-wheel drive vehicle. Now with this trim, it's 422 horsepower and 516 pound-feet of torque in an all-wheel drive system, which gives you 311 miles of range. Really impressive. Now it has a 0 to 60 in 4.9 seconds for a 3-row SUV. The heads-up display is clear, easy to read, it's functional, and it's basically the same Hyundai heads-up display, which works great, that I've shown in many different vehicles, and it gives you relevant information, it's clear, and it doesn't just overly distract you with unnecessary clutter, basically. I'm sitting in the driver's seat, and I have the driver's seat all the way down and all the way back to give you an idea of the potential legroom here. And I'm 6 feet tall, and it's definitely too far back for me to drive. I would need to pull it up quite a bit. So if you're over 6 feet tall, should have no problem driving this vehicle. So you can see the accelerator, brake pedal, lots of space there, just wide open area here. And to the left, there's lots of room here, lots of room here. It's just wide open, it's great. So the steering wheel, it's a two-tone, leather wrapped, stitching there on the inside. Looks good, feels good. It has like the silver accent here, illuminated H in Morse code here in the center. It has regen paddles here in the back, so you can adjust on the fly the regen system. And it has the ability to have an automatic function, which I really like, and then you have different levels of automatic. But me personally, when you put it in automatic, so you can see right there, level 1. So level 0, press and hold it, it goes into an automatic right there. So it does a good job of just automatically adjusting the regen based on your driving conditions. So I usually just leave it in automatic. So here on the left side of the steering wheel is the cruise control, and it has this one button. You just press that, it sets it and turns the system on at the same time, so it's great. And then you can adjust the speed here, resume, and pause the resume there in the center. You just press in on that toggle switch. You can set the distance between you and the vehicle in front of you here. Lane keep assist system is here. Now this pages button and this little scroll wheel and OK corresponds with the screen. We'll get to that in a minute. Here on the right side corresponds with your radio. So you have your volume for the radio, change to the tracks, change your audio source using that mode button. You have a voice recognition, one single button for answering calls and hanging up, and then you have this button, which is a customizable button. You can customize what it does in the screen. Windshield wiper controls are here. It does have an automatic rain sensing function as well, and that's for the front and rear. And then the turn signal is here, but also has a headlight switch. And when you turn it, it shows up here on the screen and it shows you what you're doing. I usually just leave it in automatic. But down here is a non-traditional shifter, basically. There's the start button for turning it on. And then you have this toggle switch right here. So let's go ahead and put it in reverse by tilting it back like that. Two things will happen. One is their parking sensors will pop up, but then you have this really great camera system. So you have the view here in the back, and which you can change. You have this view, that view. Take the vehicle out and just see the tires, or here the full back view here. That's the more traditional view. And then you have the top down. It's very accurate. It looks really good. And if there's anything around, the parking sensors will let you know on the screen there where it is. So that's all good. Now when we put it in drive, tilting it forward like that, you can see it shows the front view. Then you have these different views here, here. I like the way you can see the front tires there, and then the super wide view there in the front. But that's kind of the default view. It also has this view, so you can see the vehicle and kind of like a natural view around it for the most part. It's kind of neat in certain scenarios. You can adjust it. All right, to put it in neutral, you just pull it back gently and hold it, and it'll go in neutral. To put it in park, you just press here on the end, and that'll put it in park. So yeah, that shifter is really nice. I like the way it's non-traditional, it's out of the way, and it's very easy to use. Speaking of cameras, when you put the turn signal on, it has a blind spot camera. There's the left side, and then there's the right side. So yeah, that's just so convenient. So you can see if there's a vehicle in your blind spot, but also if you're making a turn, you can watch out for lines or curbs or whatever, or potholes or whatever it is that you're watching out for. That with that camera system is great. In addition to the blind spot detection system, it has that as well. So here is the basically gauge cluster, and it shows a digital speedometer, last speed limit sign you passed, outside temperature. Here on the right side is your range, and then a charge, basically a meter as you drive, and it'll show you if either using power or regenerating power. It shows your battery percentage here. This is the odometer, and then status of your regen there, what gear you're in, and stuff like that. You also have information there in the center. We'll get to that in a second, because you can press this button and you can get different information here, and you can also scroll up and down and get more information this way. On the screen there's different views. So right now we're in the modern view, but we can go to the simple view and it'd look like that. And then there's also a classic view, which looks like that. It looks like traditional gauges, basically. And then you have style A, style B, and style C. And then you have simple, style C, style B, and style A. And then the modern look, you have style A, style B, and style C. So yeah, all of them are really good. I kind of like the modern look because I like a digital speedometer, and yeah, and the little red, it looks pretty cool as well. So yeah, there's different ways you can customize it. Right here is a little driver monitoring camera as well. Now if you can see the ambient light shining here, and also you can see it shining over there as well, and it's on the doors. Hopefully I'll be able to do a night video one day on this on this vehicle. Okay, so here's the screen. It's pretty much the same Hyundai screen you find in any other vehicle. And there's the navigation map. And then whatever your radio's doing, it has the satellite radio, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, Bluetooth, and all that stuff. Phone projection, which is the Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. You can record memos, adjust your seats, find out weather, you set up the vehicle, sports, additional features here as well. But this right here is important, the EV part. So this right here shows you your battery percentage, where the nearest charge port is, how far you can drive with the climate control on, and then how far you can drive with the climate control off. So it kind of gives you some quick stats there. Now you're able to go in here to the settings, and you're able to go into a utility mode. So if you want the climate control to be on and stuff like that, and you leave the vehicle on, you can turn it to utility mode. So you have these different things. It also has the ability to recondition a battery in the wintertime. You can do that as well. Then you have your charge settings here. You have AC charging settings, charging limits, and then you have vehicle to load. In other words, you can basically share power with, there's an adapter actually that plugs into the charge port, in which you can basically serves as a power inverter, and you can use the energy from the vehicle. And then you can basically adjust how low that'll allow the vehicle battery to go to, is basically what it means. You have a pull down here at the top. You have passenger talk. Since it's a 3-row vehicle, you can talk. If you turn that on, it basically projects your voice to the rear speaker so they can hear you. That's cool. And then you can set up different profiles here on the left side. So yeah, so there's kind of a quick rundown of that screen. Down here you have a physical volume knob tuned to the stations, physical buttons here, a little bit of redundancy to quickly access places on the screen. And then your climate control is down here as well, driver and passenger temperatures, where you want the air to blow, fan speed, air conditioning, the heated seat, cooled seat, heated steering wheel, all that good stuff, front and rear defrosters here. Now the heated and cooled seats are a 3-stage. Heated steering wheel is a 2-stage, so high and low. Most vehicles just have on or off, basically. And there is USB-C ports here, 12-volt power supply, and then there's a little storage compartment here. You notice that little key right there, that's where you put your key, that's where the immobilizer sensor is. In case the battery is dead in your key, you can put it there to get the vehicle to start. You have a secondary compartment, it's a little bit harder to get to down here, but it does have one. There's an open space here in the middle, that might be good for placing a bag or whatever. But let's say it's not big enough. You can grab this whole thing, and there's a lever right here. And you can move this back. And you can have this larger spot. So let's say if you have a big bag, you can put it there. If it's a smaller bag, you can pull it forward, however you want to do it. So you can move this whole thing, and it slides very smooth. So yeah, this whole thing moves. So right here you have, if you press in on this, you switch from drive mode to terrain mode. All right, so let's push it. Right now it's in drive mode, so you can adjust eco, normal, sport, or if you push in, it goes to terrain, snow, mud, and sand. So there's different driving situations, basically. You have a downhill descent there, auto hold, the ability to turn on the camera without it being in gear, which is really nice. And then the parking sensors you can turn off here if you need to, but that's the on light. When the light's on, they're on. These cup holders are poorly designed, ultimately. They could be easily fixed, but the way they're designed, these little spring-loaded arms, what they'll do is they spring down and then spring out and up. So as you put a cup in here, it slides in easy, but when you go to pull it out, it increases the pressure the more you pull up on it. Here's an example of why this is a problem. When you have like a hot liquid like this, coffee, and then these little things dig in to soft surfaces like this styrofoam cup, when you put hot coffee in there and then you take it out, it digs into the side and it gets tighter as you pull up on it. As you can see right here, it tries to dig in and gets tighter as you pull up on it. So hopefully we'll see if the cup breaks and the coffee goes flying everywhere. And go real easy. Because if I were to lift up fast, it would probably dig in and yeah, it's like super cringe right now. Okay, so there we go. You see that mark in the cup? It's trying to dig in to the cup and can tear into the cup. So if you have hot coffee, it can rip the cup open on the sides. So you can see it on all 3 sides here. It's got these deep marks in there, so it could potentially dig in and basically destroy the cup and have the coffee spill everywhere. So this is a poor design, I think, for, it's not taking into account. So even like pretty much anything, it lifts up and tries to dig into as you pull up on whatever you have in there, like a cup or a bottle or whatever. So even if you have, like, say, a nice painted tumbler or something, well, it's going to dig in and slide and put pressure on the paint and scrape the paint off potentially. So yeah, it's just a poor design. There's so many cup holder designs that are so much better and handle this issue way better. So that's like a big major flaw of this vehicle to me. Because it's something that you interact with every single day. Like, you get in the vehicle and you put your coffee there. If it's going to be a major problem every single time, then it's not good. Now this wireless charger right here is great. Basically, even with this large case that I have, I just place my phone in there and it charges every single time. And I like the way it has a status bar there. It lets me know that the phone is in place and charging. So yeah, this is great, because some vehicles don't have a status light or they won't charge. So this one's good. Really enjoy that. Now we saw this compartment here. We saw we can open it from the back, but here it is from the front. I like the way it's a light interior so you can see in there better. And that removable tray gives you access to the lower part as well. Now it has a rear view mirror, but it also has a rear view camera, and it's actually dimming it right now because of the shade over the light sensor, which is back here. But you can adjust the brightness and adjust the height and all that stuff here as well. You have HomeLink garage door opener controls here. There's some tap lights. You press right here next to them and it turns them on. It has like a little dimple right there showing you where they are. And then you have all the interior lights, which is pretty cool. You can have the interior lights not turn on with the door, or you could by pressing that. That's the off button, I guess. And then this one right here is just this light right here. You have roadside assistance here. And then the visor is like a suede material, just like the headliner. Has a little clip, a large mirror with a light that automatically turns on. That's interesting for Hyundai to have. Usually they have a separate switch, but it does slide out and give you absolutely 100% full coverage here on the side. That's all looking good. Now it is a suede material for a piece that you're going to touch all the time. Something to consider. You can keep your hands clean, I guess. Okay, so it has this huge panoramic sunroof for the shade that covers 100% of the light. And let's go ahead and move the shade back. It goes fairly fast. It's all the way back there. Now let's tilt it up, go forward, up. I pushed it too hard. Now let's move it back. Pull it back again. All right, as far back as it goes. So it doesn't open out that much. But if you press it, firmly press it, it'll go ahead and close that and close the shade all at the same time. All right, so looking at the visibility here in the back, I got a bunch of boxes back there, but yeah, you can see the headrest there and you can see the pillars. It's kind of lines up to where it potentially could be an issue as far as visibility, but with the camera system and the technology that the vehicle has, it's not really an issue, but you know, you still want to be able to look out and you have to be aware of your blind spots so you can accommodate for them basically. The headlight switch here is very straightforward. Off, automatic, parking, and headlights here. And when you turn the switch, it shows you here on the screen what's going on. So that's nice, especially at nighttime. Now there is a dimmer switch for the gauge cluster and all the backlit buttons. You'll find it right here. And so you can just kind of adjust the illumination. And it has a little status bar, which is handy. So you can kind of get an idea of the number that you're used to, especially if you have to change it for other people, and then changing it back, you go straight back to a number, so that way you can kind of keep track of it a little bit better. And it's not just the screens, it's the backlit buttons as well. You can see the buttons all there adjust as well. So yeah. Now the headlights, or this light adjustments here in the settings, you have the ambient lighting. You have the adjustments on the brightness. You can also change the color here, different colors. But you also have the turn signal, options here. You have a welcome light. And we'll look at all that when it gets dark. Headlight delay, high beam assist, which is your automatic high beams. And then your interior lights, if you want them to stay on even during the daytime, you can do that. Now, the reason why I have that turned on is because sometimes if it's low light or something like that, I just still want to have the interior lights on, because sometimes, like the light sensor on the vehicle might think it's still daylight and then not turn on your interior lights just because of the position of a street light or whatever. So the ambient lights, you can link those to drive mode, dim and darken conditions, which I have to turn that off. Let's go to color. So right now you can see it's purple, and you can see the light illuminating here, there on the door handle, and different places, which we'll look at it when it gets darker anyway. And let's go ahead and turn it to green. So when I start, showing the vehicle at nighttime, you'll see where the illumination is, because it's green and it kind of pops out, When you walk up to the vehicle with the key, it has the full proximity key system. and it'll sense the key at a certain point. And I have it set to where I'll just go ahead and unlock the doors and pop out the handles. And you see there's a little illuminated section there around the handle, looking pretty cool. Now, let me hit the unlock button. You notice there's no approach light or anything like that, and there's no exterior lights that turn on other than those handle lights. Let me hit the unlock button now. So now the interior lights are on, the handle lights, but once again, no approach lights here on the side and no exterior lights here.